As we enter a new year, millions of Americans are about to feel a direct hit to their wallets. Car prices are rising fast. The culprit, tariffs, taxes on imported cars and parts, are now reshaping the auto industry and driving up costs. What was once a distant policy debate is now showing up on dealership price tags, affecting everyone from factory workers to families planning their next purchase. The new tariffs, fully in effect since fall 2025, represent the biggest economic shift for the auto industry in decades. These aren't just minor increases, they're fundamentally changing what Americans can afford and what's available on the lot. Tonight we'll break down how these tariffs work, why they matter, and what they mean for your next car purchase. The sticker shock you'll see in 2026 is no accident. It's the result of deliberate policy choices, and we're here to explain what's at stake for you. To understand today's price hikes, we need to look back at the history of U.S. auto tariffs. For decades, tariffs on imported cars were low, just 2.5%, but light trucks faced a much higher rate, a legacy of the 1960s chicken tax. The real shift began under President Trump, who used tariffs to push for more American manufacturing and tougher trade deals. In spring 2025, a sweeping set of new tariffs targeted imported vehicles and a wide range of auto parts, fundamentally restructuring trade rules. By September 2025, these tariffs were fully implemented, sending shockwaves through the global auto industry. Automakers worldwide scrambled to rethink production, pricing, and investment for the U.S. market. The result? A new era of higher costs and market disruption, with American consumers now facing the consequences. The decisions of 2025 are directly shaping the auto market and your wallet today. The 2025 Parmau Model 25 announcement was a game-changer, a 25% import tax on foreign cars and key parts, justified as a move to boost U.S. manufacturing. Nearly every major trading partner was affected, with the goal of making imports more expensive and incentivizing local production. Automakers scrambled to calculate costs and adjust strategies as the tariffs became reality in September 2025. The North American supply chain, once seamless, now faced new hurdles under the USMCA, with strict content rules and complex compliance. European, Japanese, and Korean brands, many reliant on global parts, were hit hard, forcing them to rethink pricing and production. By late 2025, automakers announced significant price hikes for 2026 models, directly tied to the new tariffs. The financial impact was immediate, and American car buyers began to feel the pinch. 2026 marks the start of a new, more expensive era for anyone shopping for a car. The new tariffs aren't one-size-fits-all, they're a complex web based on where cars and parts are made. The headline, a 25% import tax on cars and critical parts from most countries, with some exceptions for USMCA partners if strict content rules are met. European Union vehicles now face a 15% tariff, while Japan and South Korea pay slightly less, and the UK pays 10%. This tiered system means a car's final price depends heavily on its origin. JP Morgan estimates the auto industry will pay $41 billion in tariffs in the first year alone, rising to $52 billion by year 3. Automakers can't absorb these costs, so they're passing much of it to consumers. The average new car will cost $2,180 more in the first year, a 5.8% jump, and over $3,200 more by year 3. This comes on top of a 28% rise in car prices since the pandemic. For many families, these extra thousands mean tough choices: delay buying, go used, or stretch budgets even further. The new tariff structure is reshaping what Americans can afford. The numbers are real. Tariffs are driving up prices across the board. European luxury brands like Porsche and BMW have already raised prices by up to 3.6%, adding thousands to high-end models. Even brands with U.S. factories like Toyota have hiked prices $270 more per car on average, due to global supply chain costs. Automakers that tried to hold off on increases, like Volkswagen and Nissan, are now under pressure to follow suit. The Volvo EX30 electric SUV is a dramatic example. Originally set to launch $35,000, tariffs forced production to move from China to Belgium, pushing the U.S. price to over $46,000, a jump of $11,000. Since the pandemic, new car prices are up 28%, and monthly payments have soared 34%. JP Morgan projects tariffs will add another 3% to new vehicle inflation. For many, the dream of a new car is slipping out of reach, forcing buyers to delay, go used, or take on more debt. The impact is clear. Higher tariffs mean higher prices, and American families are feeling the squeeze. The price hikes are just beginning, with more expected as the full cost of tariffs filters through the market. Affordability is now the biggest challenge for car buyers. Automakers face a tough choice: absorb the tariffs, adapt their operations, or pass costs to consumers. Absorbing costs means shrinking profits, which can hurt investment in new technology and jobs. Adapting means moving production to the US. But building or retooling factories takes years and billions of dollars. The fastest option? Pass the cost to buyers, which is exactly what's happening with 2026 models. But higher prices risk driving away customers, leading to lower sales and even higher per-car costs. It's a delicate balance. Too little price increase hurts profits, too much kills demand. Most automakers are splitting the difference, absorbing some costs, raising prices, and planning to localize more production over time. The burden is shared, but consumers are feeling it first. The industry is being reshaped, and the full impact will play out over the next decade. The central question: how much more can buyers and automakers bear? The effects of auto tariffs ripple far beyond car lots. They're slowing the entire U.S. economy. J.P. Morgan predicts auto sales will drop 3% from 2024 levels, directly due to affordability pressures. Fewer sales mean less revenue for automakers, dealers, and related industries like financing and insurance. While tariffs aim to boost U.S. jobs, lower sales and squeeze profits could actually put existing jobs at risk. Automakers may cut production or lay off workers if demand falls. New tariffs on robotics imports could further raise costs for U.S. factories, complicating efforts to localize production. The USMCA trade agreement faces a critical review in 2026, and a U.S. exit could devastate the North American auto market. The Supreme Court will soon rule on whether the president can impose such sweeping tariffs, potentially reshaping trade policy for years. The stakes are high. Legal and trade decisions in 2026 could either stabilize or further disrupt the industry. The outcome will affect not just cars, but the broader U.S. economy and millions of jobs. Experts agree, tariffs are the main driver of rising car prices in 2026. Analysts say automakers are passing on new costs, and the link between tariffs and higher prices is clear. Economists warn that adding $2,500 or more to the average car is a major inflationary shock, especially for families. Sales have already dropped sharply since the tariffs were announced, showing how sensitive buyers are to price hikes. Legal scholars are watching the Supreme Court case closely. Its outcome could redefine presidential power over trade. Financial analysts say the pain is shared. Automakers can't pass on all costs without losing customers, so profits and consumer budgets are both squeezed. The industry is in a fragile balance. If buyers push back harder, automakers may have to cut jobs or investments. The future is uncertain, and the next year will be critical for the industry and consumers alike. The story of tariffs and car prices is about more than numbers. It's a fundamental shift in how the auto industry works. For consumers, this means doing more research, understanding which brands are most affected, and preparing for higher costs. The $11,000 jump in the Volvo EX30's price shows how a car's origin now directly impacts your wallet. Pay attention to where your next car and its parts are made. It could save you thousands. Watch for the Supreme Court's tariff ruling and the USMCA review. Both could reshape the market. Automaker pricing strategies will reveal how the industry is coping with these new pressures. The road ahead is uncertain, but being informed is your best defense. We'll keep following the story, so you know what to expect when you shop for your next car.